We're talking about the word of the year, the Elevate word of the year. So first of all, I'd like to kind of zoom out a little bit and say, why do you like the word elevate?
If you look at the definition of elevate, it's taking it to an important or impressive level.
You know, I like it because it's an action verb. Like, you have got to do something. If you say you're going to elevate and for whatever reason, you have to move. You can't be complacent. You can't sit still. You got to get going.
I think the word is like truly foundational to our year.
So what do you do more than just take it to the next level, but really how far can we go?
I like that.
And if we get there, can we take it further? Can we continue and have that continuous improvement throughout the journey?
This word just seems like such a natural fit for us this year. It's very relevant to our business and our customers, our community even. So I think it's just setting the trajectory for us in 2023. So I really, really think the word is fitting.
And I like the word not just because it's great for our business, but you can use it for your personal journey too. And again, if you say you're going to elevate, then it requires you to make movement, to do something that's probably different than what you've been doing in the past. So it fits.
Welcome to Stories from the River, a show in which we go behind the scenes at Broad River Retail.
I like that pushing up against boundaries and pushing up against ceilings. I have not heard that on the definition before, so that's really cool. Okay, so now as you take that one notch down from just generally why do you like it or why do you love it, and you think about Broad River Retail in this moment of time in 2023, and a word that can't just last for January, it's going to last for a whole year. Why do you like elevate, the word elevate for Broad River for this year?
I will back that up to 2022. I think we got to set the foundation there. When I joined the company about 5 months ago, it was something coming in, looking at, observing and what do we need to change? What do we need to disrupt? What do we need to continue? And talking to the teams and understanding where we were KPIs. Anita and Sam did an amazing job leading the team through 2022 from kind of that post-COVID, getting all the KPIs put in place, really setting the foundation for what we need to do in 2023. You look at the supply chain getting better, Tanya and Tim working with deliveries getting better, all the partners that we have out there, the MMX team, Heather and that team, and everything they were doing for the memory makers. And it's like, what do we need to do? We need to continue to improve. We need to elevate. And I had the conversation with you early on when we first found out the word of the year, like, well, I've actually been using this since I started with the company because it was like, that's what we need to take it to the next level. So very excited for what we could really do now in 2023 to take it to the next level, both from the customer experience standpoint, meaning the guest, and also from our internal memory makers.
I love that. Well, you're hitting on two of the four cornerstones, right? So if we think about the word of the year, it's got to cascade across four cornerstones for us: financial, innovation, memory maker experience, and customer experience, which obviously you're in the customer experience business. But I know you've only been with us 5 months, but you've been in the industry for a while, and you've been in call centers for a long time and in contact centers, and you worked for Ashley Furniture Corporate, and you worked for another retailer, and so now you're with Broad River, and so you're not starting really from zero. You're starting from a point of, and the CX team has already been on a great journey, like you've said. So, but when you kind of unpack that one level deeper with the CX team, what does it mean? What does Elevate mean for customer experience for 2023?
Yeah, and again, I would go back to when I first started with the company. I did meet with every memory maker on my team, every CX memory maker, and really got from them, what was working, what wasn't working, what was working for them, both for the guests, what was frustrating our guests, so that we could start to lay out what does that customer journey look like. So a little bit of pre-work for 2023 there. And got over 300 responses, which was amazing. And we bucketed that into really the customer journey. So at point of sale, pre-delivery, delivery, post-delivery, what do we need to work on? So as we started launching with the CX leadership in 2023, first thing that we did is create an identity. It starts with identity. And it was amazing that we are now the CX All-Stars.
Love it.
So very excited. The team, we're utilizing that all the way through our titles, all the way through our recognition, to having heavy hitters towards the end of the year, rookie of the year, all those types of things to make sure that we continue down that path with identity. But the other thing that we did is really focus in on, we were going through book club with 40X. and what's the most important things we can work on. Because if you've got too many things out there, you're not getting anything accomplished. So the wildly important goal was leveling up on customer experience.
I love it.
And taking that journey with the things that we had learned in the prior year. So now we're taking that to the next level of how do we utilize that in 2023.
And you talked about these touch points from the journey. Go through the touch point, the customer touch points, point of sale.
Point of sale. So anything that happens at point of sale from did we explain the terms and conditions properly to, are there any things that we need to work on, working with Will and Carl and Stacy on those situations. From the pre-delivery phase, what are we doing? And if we have a delay of product and those outbound calls, and how do we improve that conversation? How do we be more proactive with that, working with Brian's team? And as we get into the delivery phase, partnering with Tanya and Tim as they partner with Riverstone of what are we hearing that is concerning the guests, and taking some of that information. And we've also started a weekly audit of our returns. Yay for the team. Very, very improved returns in the last few months. And then getting to the post-delivery side. So what comes in, it needs a warranty or a repair completed, or there's a concern with something financial, all those things that could come in, or from an escalation standpoint that we're dealing with.
Yeah, I love that you started with the touch points and said, let's go break this down scientifically to every touch point of how we can kind of go elevate. And I know you called out some of the success that we've had and some of the other KPIs in other departments, but we've hit some records in service levels in CX here recently since you've joined. Have we not?
We have. We are well under our 30-second speed of answer,
That's awesome.
Which is best in industry, and we're in the mid 90s right now for our service levels for most cases. We've hit a few weeks that we're below 90, but we're continuing to check through that. And Sam's been working with Ring Central on some forecasting options, things like that, changing schedules to be able to accommodate that.
And is service levels, is that the number one KPI for the call center?
Service level, there's really several. The service level, the speed of answer, then we also look at our abandonment rate. We've been around the 2% abandonment rate, which industry best is 5%. So great there. And then we're working on handle times. So how can we make it more efficient for the All-Star to be able to answer that question sooner?
And define service level for our audience.
Service level is the speed of answer within how many calls that we are getting within 60 seconds.
Okay.
So how many calls are we answering within that 60-second range?
Got it. And most, if not all of our agents work from home.
They do.
And do you see that as a big benefit to that population?
Yeah, it's interesting because I was just at a conference and 82% of the population in the CX world works from home now.
Really?
100% of the time. And with that, I think this is nothing that's going to change for this industry.
This is where CX is.
This is where CX is.
Now and for the future.
Yes.
And so how do you elevate culture with a work from home population?
So it was very interesting because I joined right as Customer Service Week was happening a few weeks before. And the team did an amazing job pulling off Customer Service Week in a virtual environment. One, very impressed with that. The other thing I was really impressed with joining the company is not only do we have team meetings and weekly huddles and trainings that we're doing virtually and all those other things, but we do something called coffee breaks. So they're getting that water cooler talk, and those teams are mixed up every week virtually.
That's cool.
So it really helps the team feel like they're still part of something.
Do you literally go get your coffee or your hot tea or whatever for the coffee?
Yeah, I don't think they're all doing that, but
I would take it.
I would for sure. Cappuccino, right?
Yeah, that's right. And so how else are you looking to elevate within the department in 2023?
Yeah, in 2023, we're really doing several different things. One, we've attended a few conferences. We're going to attend a few more this year.
Yeah, you just got back from Qualtrics, right?
We did get back from Qualtrics.
That's in Utah?
It was in Utah.
I've never gone. Must be an amazing conference.
Yeah, you should plan on going next year. But yeah, from that standpoint, it's learning, and I'll take from Qualtrics, it was really understanding their product, but they had other what they call base camp learnings. So creating a customer persona. What does that look like? What is the journey of that persona? And to me, how do we take that, especially in 2023, and understand the learnings that we have out there on processes, the technology that's out there? What can our current technology stack do from a standpoint of self-serve or proactive communication? Or what do we need to add into that persona are we missing something?
Okay.
So we're reviewing a lot of that this year to see what changes we can make. And Sam has said this several times, the omni contact experience. So today we don't really have messaging available. How do we introduce that? And how do we have the whole industry's talking about Chat GPT right now? How do we install something like that to be able to really help the customers along the way as well?
Really hitting on that cornerstone of innovation.
Exactly.
And anything else in within the department before I move on?
Yeah, just from that standpoint, I think we got to get that figured out, and then we also just have to make sure that we know we want to continue to scale, and we got to figure out how technology can help us with the scaling part.
Okay, love it. A lot of great things, and I'm sure that you've got success already mapped out for the end of the year, and then what that looks like. Wes, anything else before I let you off the hot seat?
No, this is great.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us about the word elevate. I'm going to call bring in some of your other co-leaders with Anita and Sam and see what they have to say.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Why is elevate right for right now for Broad River? Why is it a good word of the year for 2023 for us?
For me, elevate, when you're speaking specifically about Broad River Retail, it's exactly who we are and what we do. So I think back about, facing a pandemic, a possible recession this year, coming off an awesome year from last year. But the thing is regardless of what the circumstances are, regardless of the situations that we're around, we're always going to elevate. We're always going to push to the next level. So it doesn't mean it does not stop us if we had a great year. It doesn't stop us if things were a little challenging. We're always going to strive. You and Manny always say that we are a company of grit. And I believe that we are people who get up every day and we go fight the good fight. Mm-hmm. And we're going to win no matter what, because that's just who we are. That's ingrained in us. That's why elevate's the right word for us.
That's a great answer. I love that you basically said it can apply to any season of life, wherever you're at, and apply to the DNA of who we are. Mm-hmm. That's really well said. So when you think about your four walls within customer experience, so to speak, mm-hmm. what does elevate mean for customer experience?
First of all, giving a shout out to the team for 2022. I have to give them. They did a great job. The team, we focused. We were all moving in the right direction. And I think that laid our foundation so that we're prepared to elevate 2023. And with that elevation, to me, for us, that means continuing to make sure that our Memory Maker experience is going well, that we're giving people what they need professionally and personally, and that we are focused on ensuring that our guest experience continues to elevate, that it gets better, that we understand where some friction and frustration points for our customers, and we're able to address that and get past it so that we can make sure they have a wonderful experience with us.
Yeah, so you hit on a couple cornerstones that we have: the Memory Maker experience mm-hmm. and the customer experience. And we also have financial and innovation. Right. And so how else are you looking to elevate within the department in 2023? I mean, I love that you talked about we started a strong foundation. Mm-hmm. I kind of wanted to go into that a little bit more. So we can either do that, or we can go straight into what are some of the ways that you're looking to innovate in 2023 within CX?
Within CX. So first of all, purpose begins with identity,
yes.
right?
Yes.
We've heard it it's who we are. We need to know who we are so that we can be that, right? Mm-hmm. So for us, as we elevated into 2023, we came up with our identity, and we are the CX All-Stars.
I love it.
I love it. And it really, to me, denotes who we are. We want to make sure that we have superstars on our team so we can make sure we're taking care of our guests. And that's the internal guests and the external guests. Because everybody that we, our partners, we need to make sure we're doing the best for them as well as our guests. So this year we'll have an all-star program. We're going to make sure that we are rewarding and acknowledging our top performers. So at the end of the year, we'll have our most valuable player. We'll have our heavy hitters club. We'll even have a rookie of the year. So that's where it goes into making sure that we are elevating our Memory Maker experience. But we also have new technology, RingCentral, NICE, which we are super excited about. And with that, that's where the elevating our customer experience comes from, because we have some programs within that we've never had mm-hmm. before, being able to understand sentiment analytics, understanding as the conversation is happening with our Memory Maker, how they're feeling, how the guest is feeling, and then taking that and stitching it together to figure out, okay, where are the friction points? Where are some things that we could be better at? Maybe training for our team members, or changing a policy or process so that we don't frustrate our guests. So that's pretty exciting. The other thing I think is, we have some things up our sleeves, some things we want to try to really ensure that we are celebrating with our guests when they have these memorable moments that are happening in their life. So more to go.
You hit on a lot there. Sentiment analytics. That's a new phrase. That's really cool stuff. The way you explain that. I love that you said we're going to have a full year of our own identity, CX All-Stars. Yes. And so you laid that foundation, and a full year with this brand new technology that we deployed late last year with RingCentral that can do so many innovative things for you that can improve the memory maker experience and the guest experience. So you got innovation guests. I'm sure there's tremendous cost savings through that as well, financial element. And then celebrating with our guests for their milestone. That's some good stuff. Good stuff.
More to
come. Don't let all the secrets out here. Well, it sounds like you're super excited about elevating this year with the team. And is this going to be the first time ever to have these awards like Heavy Hitters Club, Rookie of the Year, and MVP Most Valuable Players? That's
first time. We're super excited about it. I think the team is too, because it's kind of similar to what our retail team members are doing. And all year they're just going to be able to see, how they're growing and the points that they're getting, and then at the end of the year, we'll have a big celebration.
That's phenomenal. That's so good. Anita, thanks so much for coming back on the podcast and talking to us about the word elevate.
I love it. Thank you. I'm ready to elevate. Oh, we're already elevating.
Now, when you think about elevating and what it means to you and your team.
Yeah.
First of all, tell us about your team.
Yeah, I'd love to. So I'm responsible for service, and there's kind of two sides to that. From a contact center perspective, we have service specialists who are responsible for like inbound calls and, ordering parts, setting up service appointments, really diagnosing the problem at the root. And then I have the other side of it as our in-home craftsmen, who are the ones actually going into the customers' homes to make restorations to pieces as needed. So they could potentially be that last touch point for the customer before they become a repeat guest, right? So, we have both sides from like a contact center and an operations standpoint.
Okay. And have you talked to your team about this word? I'm sure you have.
Absolutely.
And so what does it mean to you and the team as you all think about it?
I think we learned through the year of purpose that we really wanted to bring this down to every single memory maker and make sure that they feel the word, they know how they can impact the word, how they can live out the word throughout the entire year. So it was definitely a topic of conversation and still is. Part of what we've done in customer experience this year has had listening sessions. So we are literally sitting with every memory maker, maybe even in a round table, but we're listening to their feedback and what they have to say and how we can take that feedback and elevate this year. So they're giving us like voice of the customer through voice of the agent.
Wow.
And we're using that feedback to elevate in our team. Specifically for service, though, I'll tell you that it sounds simple, but it's not easy. We're really digging into our processes and looking at them through a customer lens. So how can we elevate the customer experience from the service perspective? Like, we know we fit into that journey more often than not. And how can we elevate their experience from a service standpoint?
And would that look like attending to them faster?
Exactly.
Okay. We're getting them apart faster.
Exactly.
Go into that.
Sure. So we're trying to be more proactive and actually contact the customer throughout the journey rather than waiting for them to contact us.
Okay.
We collaborated with Brian on supply chain and Tanya for home delivery, for route optimization, for speed to customer, zip code zones, that kind of stuff to just make sure we're servicing our customers as fast as possible. We've collaborated with Cherie Rivera for operational excellence for how they're doing things in operations in shop and how we can kind of mimic what they're doing on the road and then really reduce the returns that, is such a big effort for us this year.
Okay, that's awesome. And how else are you planning to elevate within service this year or within your department? Yeah,
so CX, we have a lot going on, super exciting stuff. I think we're just getting started. We've already leveled up, but there's still a ton of...
How have you already leveled up?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
I couldn't let that one go.
I understand. So like I said, we've done the listening sessions with our team, and we're going to continue to do that. Q1 was really about identifying our WIG and coming back to the wildly important goal. So we identified that as elevating the customer experience.
Okay.
And we separated the feedback that we got from each memory maker into 4 groups and have really empowered our team to go collaborate with other department leaders that they might not work with every day. So we have a team that's working directly with retail, a team that's working with operations and supply chain to tackle low-hanging fruit and see what we can, go ahead and solve for the customer experience quickly. Now, for the rest of the year, I think we're going to do a full journey mapping exercise. And specifically in Q2, we're focusing on business acumen. So we're going to try and teach our leaders all about business acumen through that experience, and then identify where we can, what the largest pain point is and where we can make the biggest impact to elevate the guest experience.
So elevating the guest experience is your wildly important goal.
Yes.
How do you measure that? Is that a tangible number?
We're hoping it will be through something that we developed this year called the customer effort score. So the goal is to reduce the customer's effort through their journey. So we're going to try and measure, where we are now and capture where we are now, even though we've made some slight changes already. But, track that throughout the year to make sure that we're reducing the customer effort through a more proactive approach.
Love it. Got it. Okay. Anything else on elevating within your team or what it means for you and your team?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, as leaders, we like to go first. We have to go first to model and demonstrate and to hold ourselves accountable to that standard. So you think about elevating personally in 2023, what are you doing or what have you done?
I think for me, I've kind of bucketed this out into 3 areas. So professionally, and then personally with my husband, and then personally with my family and my 3 boys.
One thing that I know about myself is I am not the best at recognition. Now, every Friday, I am doing recognition.
That's great.
And whether that be throughout the week in a meeting, doing public recognition, calling somebody up and telling them they did a great job, or the fact of doing the project premiere piece. But I'm definitely working on that side of it.
I'm going to try to do some things outside of my comfort zone. I like my comfort zone, but I need to get outside of that, And one of the things that I'm doing is for Customer Contact Week, which is in June in Las Vegas. A part of that is CCW, which is CC Women, Customer Contact Women. And I have been asked to be on the panel for that for June 19th. That's awesome. An email came out, I think it was yesterday, with my face on, with a picture of me with some of the other ladies that will be speaking. So that's super exciting.
I've really grown up at the river. So I think just identifying where I want to go and what I want to do with my career with the river. So I have looked into things like customer experience certifications and project management certifications and things that I can do to really hone in on the skills that I love.
I love that.
Other thing I'm working on and want to work on is my social media presence. So with that, I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, but it's been more about my peers in the industry and the things that I'm learning. And I would love to be more like you, more like Manny, more like Tim Klaus, from a standpoint of celebrating the team, the videos, the photos, the whole piece of that.
So I have 3 boys under 5. So we have our hands full. We have quite a busy routine and life every day. And for us this year, it's really about checking out of that routine to take intentional time to make memories with them.
In 2023, I need to push myself outside of my comfort zone more because I need to recognize the great things of who I am as a person, but also work on those things that could be a little bit better. So I want to just make sure my voice is heard.
Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. Join us again next week, and remember to rate, and subscribe to the podcast.